Patrick texted me on that.
All right,
I needed a laugh at that moment, so it was good.
What is this?
Oh, laser pointers.
Oh.
We're kind of fancy.
Yeah. I'm glad you got one.
Yeah, we're gonna play Star Wars later. We're gonna play Star Wars later. We're not on. We're not on.
Don't you blind somebody.
There it goes. It's on. All right. Daniel, sorry, I'm used to seeing a pretty lady there.
Well, you got an ugly guy now. So.
I've got eye candy right there. Come on, Mr. Mercado. Hey, Daniel, will you please take the roll?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Garvey?
Present.
Councilman Brendan is absent. Councilman McCain?
Present.
Councilman Green?
Present.
Mayor Sykes?
Present. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum for the Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. Regular City Council meeting. We're going to run down to presentations, and then we'll start out with the first one, the presentation by Chief Thompson recognizing James. Oh wait, actually,
Did you want to?
yes, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Council, I would like to, if Paul Fitzer is so inclined, can I amend the agenda to add a executive session, Idaho Code 74206. Subsection 1, subsection F, communicate with legal counsel for a public agency to discuss legal ramifications of legal options for pending litigation or controversies not yet litigated but imminently, likely to be litigated.
I'm okay with it.
Yes, I'm fine.
Need a motion, second that, we're good?
I guess that sort of was. I
Okay.
don't know, ask your nasty city clerk whether that's okay. No.
Okay, I'll make a motion what he said.
And then I'll second it.
It's been motion, second, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman McKinney?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
All right, executive session. All right. All right. Chief Thompson, come on down, my friend.
So Mayor, Council, one of the things we're starting to renew this year is the Officer of the Year presentations. I asked for submissions from all my department members, and I got back about half a dozen or more, and overwhelmingly they pointed towards one person. They named this officer's arrest statistics, his involvement in the community, his taking time away from his own family to spend time with kids at the schools, his involvement in different school projects, and overwhelmingly they spoke of his dedication to the citizens, the school kids, and this agency. So I'm very happy to announce Officer James Hollis as the 2022 Officer of the Year for the Mount Home Police Department. Nice certificate for you announcing that. And I don't want to take this out and get fingerprints all over the crystal. So there's that. Announcing Office of the Year for 2022. And I teased him beforehand saying he had about a 10-minute time slot for this. I was taking 30 seconds and he had the rest for his speech. Do you have family one of yours?
I do. My wife, Heather Hollis. I honestly couldn't do half of anything I do without her or my kids' support. She's pretty much my backbone. She's pushed me to this career and told me, hey, you signed up for this, you better go full force into it. And then my dad flew all the way from California to meet with us. And then of course my mother-in-law, who also lives in town, and she's also helped me a lot and pushed me in this career and said the same thing. Hey, if you're not out there doing it, somebody else is going to be, so get out there and do it.
Excellent.
So I do want to shout out to the command staff that I have. You guys have been great support. I couldn't do my job without you guys as well. Sergeant Sugden, who's my current supervisor, been a great asset to teaching me how to do this job, learning things that I wouldn't otherwise think of. Lieutenant Holloway's always been a great asset to me as well. And then of course Amy, always been a big cheerleader as well. And I couldn't do this without any of you guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you guys too for
Yeah, thank
giving them to us.
Pass them here and take a peek at them. And get a
And that's, as Councilman Kane says, we truly appreciate you allowing to sacrifice your time and your presence, because obviously it takes a family, and for us, it's when it comes to safety and he's out there. I know that we all sleep a little bit better at night, but it does take the family allowing you to sacrifice your time to give to the city and its citizens, so it doesn't go unnoticed. So we appreciate you letting them do what we call God's work, right? Making sure we all get to sleep good at night. Chief, thank you for bringing this back. I think it's definitely needed. And it shows the respect that your camaraderies, I guess, have for you. So definitely and cherish the moment and cherish what you have accomplished as well. Because hard work and what do they say? Talent beats hard work, or when hard work's not. Or hard work beats talent when talent's not hard work. And obviously you've got both. So congratulations.
And I do also want to thank your entire family. We did the promotional ceremony for Lieutenant Hall and Corporal Rollins last week, and as a joke, but also for added perspective, I thank the family members and the spouses specifically. And as a joke, I promoted both the spouses. Obviously, I can't do that. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, we will do the presentation by Gordon Jones, President of College of Western Idaho. Gordon? How are you doing?
Good to meet you. How are we? Good to see you, I should say.
We've met a few times, right?
I know, yeah, I know. I'm in I'm internet broadband here. Is this the right seat?
What, any of those?
Anywhere you like to.
All right.
Right here?
No. I want to. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the chance to be here, Mayor Sykes and council members. Thank you. I'm Gordon Jones, the president of the College of Western Idaho. I wanted to take this opportunity, since we are serving Mountain Home, to begin a process of staying in relationship and accountable. I'm only on this job 1 year, but I've been here in Idaho for 8 years, and will tell you that it's a pleasure to already be in this community. I've had the opportunity to be out here a number of times before, and I'd like to take this opportunity to just periodically update you all on some of the work that we're doing. A brief overview, College of Western Idaho. We're 13 years old, but we're the largest higher ed institution in the state. We have over 30,000 learners that come from Mountain Home all the way out to Ontario area. And this is a large and diverse population in terms of the needs, and I think we're a school that's up to that. We have over 90 programs. We range from electrician, HVAC, plumbing, to a post facility for police officers, and we'd love to find ways to, if that's a need in this community as well. I'm sure there's a lot of communities that need that. Firefighting, nursing to certified nurse assistants, LPNs, and we are as diverse as the communities we serve, which is roughly half the state's population. But I'll tell you this: we stand for one thing, and I hope it resonates. It resonates in most communities, if not every one I'm in. We know what we do at the College of Western Idaho. We're focused on highly affordable, employable education. And when you're able to, in 2 years, become an RN nurse, making $80,000, $90,000 a year, in 2 years for under $12,000, I'll put that up against any, check your higher ed options. Let me put it that way. And I think what you're going to find is that the variety of offerings we offer at the price we offer is exceptional. We are less expensive today, if you adjust for inflation, than when we opened in 2009. We haven't changed our tuition rate in 7 years now. And think about what the price of eggs, gas, and everything else, even in the last year, let alone the last 7 years. And a lot of that is a commitment that I certainly have inherited, but I continue to propel, which is the last thing I want to touch is what we ask our students and parents to pay. And I think that's an outlier in higher ed, and I just want to call that out because I'm proud of that commitment that I have to find the resources that sit outside of moms and dads' earnings and checkbooks, and it's a desire to make sure that we have a community like Mountain Home that has residents that can feel like the cost is not the barrier to going on. I do want to also take a moment and just say that I've enjoyed the beginnings of the relationship with Superintendent James Gilbert, and I'll talk about now some of the things that we do in this community. I know Superintendent Gilbert's here as well, and so I thank him for showing that support. Today in Mountain Home, we have 215 students. I don't even know if that's a surprise to you, if you think that's a lot or a little, but I will tell you, 215 students in the Mountain Home area here. We serve in a number of different ways. We have, first and foremost, in the dual credit space. We're the #1 provider in the state of Idaho of dual credit for your high school students, who are able to, not only is CWI affordable, but the most affordable option is to get your college credits while you're in high school. $75. There's funding that the state has that can reimburse that. I gave out at graduation last May 28 AA degrees to high school students who hadn't even received their high school diploma yet. They were getting that in a week or two. And so the kinds of options that are available, and while that's very few in number, most students, thousands of students, are getting advanced standing, and that guarantees them, no matter where they go to college, the ability to step in and help defray cost and get a jump start on life. So we have that as a large provider. We also meet with the adult community here. We teach, I think 2 times a week it is, GED classes, and English as a second language in the Mountain Home Library. And while we recognize, I'm a believer that education never stops. I had the benefit of stopping into your local museum right next door here, and I purchased a copy of the history of Mountain Home. And while I'm still reading about the various individuals who passed through over to Fort Astoria and back, I haven't yet gotten to where we are today. What I know is that the learnings that we have and what's made this community special and how we continue to invest in the community as adults is something that we never stop learning. And so we're proud of both serving from high school all the way through adult. We also have an MOA with Mountain Home Air Force Base. We're the only community college that's physically present, and partnering with the various four-year schools as well. So knowing this is an integrated and mutually supportive community, I want you to be aware that we are on base as well. And while certainly I know there is access for civilians, we're also here in town, and I want to be clear, it's not just one place. You can be here in town or on base. And we have a number of courses. We're also discussing with Superintendent Gilbert ways we expand programs. I know Superintendent Gilbert and I both feel that this state, you may not be aware, but has a 37% go-on rate to college. That's historically viewed as low. Governor Otter one time wanted the state to have a 60% go-on rate. What that means is high school graduates go on to either a trade school, the military, could be a 4-year, some option beyond high school. And at 37%, my belief is that if we can find ways to have individuals in this community try college in the community, that's an option that we've talked about and we want to try to grow. And while it's not live right now, I would tell you some of my intention is, can we get some of college going while you're living here so that you can get the confidence to say, yeah, it's worth driving now into the CWI, Boise, or Nampa campus, while I also maybe do some online. But this idea of common curriculum in the community is something that I know we've discussed, as well as, is there a trade program or not? I had the ability with Superintendent Gilbert to tour Inventive Group here with Chuck Ciccarelli and seeing some of the options that the economy has here. And is there a more trade-driven program? We've done training for Mr. Ciccarelli and his employees, and I know that's worked well for those employees. But how do we also consider where facilities may allow for, whether it be metal welding or a selected number of trades? That are also things that I think are coming. We do have an outreach team that visits the Mountain Home area frequently to make sure we do our part to try to spread the word. We don't necessarily rely on hope you spread the word. We come and try to communicate that as well. I'd also call out one other thing for your information, and I want to be clear. When it comes to funding CWI, we get some state money, we get some money from philanthropy, people who donate to us. We have tuition, but we also do have money that comes from homeowners. But I want to be clear, it's the homeowners in Ada and Canyon County. The Mountain Home in this part of Elmore County is a service district for us, and there are other counties that ring Ada and Canyon, and that's a inclusive view. I view that as areas we serve with education, and I want you to know my commitment is, regardless of that we have a commitment to be present and to be serving the residents. But I also think it comes with a benefit. There is no explicit real estate tax burden. You're not seeing that line item. Residents of Ada and Canyon County pay about $7.80 for every $100,000. As an aside, if you live in Canyon County, you actually pay more for mosquito abatement than you do CWI. So we think mosquitoes are a problem, but we think we're a good value, I think is that point. Residents of Mountain Home are able to fill in paperwork and get what's called our out-of-district rate, which is about $30 a credit hour. We're $139 a credit hour, and residents of Mountain Home would pay about $169, and that's capped. They'll never pay more than $500. If they reach that difference, if they take a lot of classes and that 30 adds up a lot, you're capped at $500. So no matter what, you're never going to pay more than $500 than a Ada or Canyon County resident, and that is something that is a structural commitment we have. There is, for your information, there is an initiative that will be coming up. It's nothing that we've been a participant in, but there is a scenario where our relationship may change depending on how the will of the voters go. There's been a petition put out to make Elmore County in totality a community college district, which carries an implication of becoming a taxing district. And that would have it shift over to the College of Southern Idaho, a wonderful institution. I'm a big fan of all of our community colleges. But I do want to call that out, that if that's, we certainly, the voters speak, but it's not, I've talked to some people, and I want to just educate that it's not about just creating a district. You're actually creating a taxing district for Elmore County and the residents of Mountain Home. And I do not know the exact mill rate, but I believe it's this year about $72.80 per 100,000 for that is the implication of it. And either way, I want you to know that as long as you are in our service district, we are deeply committed and appreciate the chance to serve Mountain Home. So I'd be happy to take questions. I know it's not often, you haven't maybe heard. I'm only on the job a year, so my predecessor may not have done this. My intention is to do this at least, maybe at least once a year, but maybe more frequently depending on your interest.
So Gordon, I don't like the way that petition went around. I'm going to be honest with you, I signed it because they said, hey, we're going to get you a college in Mountain Home. Never once did they ever say it was a taxing district. So we pulled, I know Betsy, our communication specialist, pulled a public records request to say, hey guys, this isn't copacetic. So I can honestly tell you I'm against, I don't want to pay any more tax than I have to. And so I want you to know that my name is on there and what had happened, because they never once said it was a taxing district, and they never once, then they said, oh, we're going to bring a college to Mountain Home. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm thinking, heck yeah, right? Free? Yeah. I know it's not free. So I guess the people that put those out, that they didn't know that either, that we're having people sign. And so here before, I think it was kind of shady. I guess I don't want to use those words, but that's what it was. So I like the way it is currently, and I think it should stay that way.
Well, we certainly love serving the community. I think that's sort of the extent of what I can communicate to you. But I know that you're not the only person that I've had a chance to bump into who's said that while there's a lot of enthusiasm for colleges, not recognizing there's no language of tax implication at all in the petition.
Correct. So,
Mayor?
Councilman McCain?
Well, unlike him, I didn't sign it, but I'm glad to have you here. I appreciate it.
I started, I didn't tell you anything about myself, but I grew up out of state, but I taught at a rural high school on a 30,000 acre cattle ranch in northern Arizona. It was my first time teaching high school algebra and geometry, and like a lot of small communities, I wore a lot of hats. I coached teams I never played sports in. I've done administrative work, and I think I've always had there's something about the city of Mountain Home as I drive around that kind of reminds me of 32 years ago, and in a different community, in a different state. And while my travels have taken me different places, I have 4 kids, ages 10 to 16. They're all in public schools. I have every intention of spending the rest of my material parts of my life here in Idaho. I love it. It's not where you're born. It's kind of where you're made to be. And I know my wife and I are thrilled to be here. And I'm in the job I love. I love giving people a chance to get a jump start on life. And for under 12 grand, I got 90 different kind of programs that can power the state and towns like Mountain Home. So please know I'm all in, and I love the work I do and serving towns like Mountain Home. So or cities.
Yes, thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I do have some facts at a glance. I'll leave, and maybe Mayor, I could leave with you, and you can decide where it goes. But there's a lot more to the story.
Well, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything for Gordon? Okay. Darce, what do you got for us?
Well, got lots of stuff, but I'll keep it just a little. I'll let Shasta add on to it.
Thanks, James.
So the rec department just received some grant award monies from St. Luke's, the CHIP grant. So we've got a good amount of funding for programming through the rest of the year. One of the programs that it helped fund was the Golden Group Getaways, and one of the is a trip it's a program to take seniors on trips out of town on little short day excursions. And the most recent one is they went up to the Capitol building and had a little tour from Representative Bundy. And I don't think Schroeder wasn't there, but Representative Blanksma was there as well. So that was really fun. These trips are so popular right now. We started the trips last year, and we get maybe 12 signups. Now it's booming. We have to take both vans. We have 22 to 30 people going every time. So pretty excited to keep those going. And then another little bit about funding. We got some more money from the Boise Board of Realtors for the new story walk that's going out on the walking path at, let's see, it starts from the parking lot where the fitness court is on the walking path to 18th right now. Is the first 10 panels, and they have, the posts have already been put in. So Shasta's on the other end of that story walk as far as what I guess stories will be put in there.
Yeah, so it has to be, we have to make sure publishers are okay with us posting it for copyright purposes. But we'll also put advertisements of who helped sponsor the story walk.
So does it go from, so do you start it on the parking lot?
Yes.
And they come to the...
To where 18th is on the back.
Okay, so it's a...
Sorry, that way.
Okay.
So that was the first initial 10 panels that Shasta, the library, had gotten donated from the...
It was a grant through Idaho Department of Health and Welfare and IDAC.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is an additional 10.
Nice.
So all in all, we may have 30 panels coming. So there will be little story walk opportunities all over Mountain Home.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then, one more thing. So our spring soccer deadline is February 24th for spring soccer. And we already have 136 kids signed up. So we're like a quarter of the way there. Because we usually get like 400 kids, so we're rolling. It's pretty exciting to have that. And the new rec coordinators, they are so amazing. They're doing such a good job. I'm so happy to have them on our team. And they put in 2 new programs to start this spring. One of them is NFL flag football. We're gonna squeeze that in between soccer and the baseball season. So, well, yeah, we'll see how that goes, but we're excited. And then we have a World of Imagination art class that we're doing for free in partnership with Walmart. They're helping with the supplies and materials, and then our staff will teach the classes for kids. So, we're really excited. So, that's all I got for now.
I want to give a shout out to Walmart. They're always doing something for the citizens in City of Mountain Home.
Yeah, we literally asked them for a request last week, and they got back to us, so they're good.
Awesome. Good. I say it to be funny, but no, it's great that they give back to the community. Shasta?
So we also applied for the St. Luke's CHIP grant, and they awarded the library $5,000 towards VR equipment and training with help from Boise State On-Ramp program as well as local business Flightline VR. So it's specifically for our teams to help them understand the equipment as well as make their own applications. So we're excited about that. Boise State said they would be happy to bring some of their students to come help teach the teens, and I think that is a great partnership to have. So we're excited about getting that ball rolling now that we have funding for it, and I'll fill you in as soon as we get updates on that. We had 33 at our adult craft night. We had 20 at our junior hangouts escape room. We had a great turnout for our open mic night with the Arts Council. We're going to be doing that every third Friday from 6 to 8. This week we actually have a busy Thursday. We've got our Dungeons and Dragons one-shot round at 6 p.m., but we also have our interactive movie night from 7 to 9, and we're showing Finding Nemo. And then next Tuesday we have our after-hours teen Nerf battle from 7 to 9. And then we just started up again our Extreme Book Nerd Challenge, and we've got new challenges this year, so it's not too late to sign up and read some new books that may challenge your brain. That's all I have.
Fantastic. All right, Hank, you're up, buddy.
Things are good. We've slowed down a little bit on permitting and code enforcement, but not a whole lot to report.
So, here. Hank, how's the roof coming?
They're waiting on the gas lines to be lifted up. That was the last holdup. We keep getting intermittent weather, and it freezes up there. It's hard to finish off the roof, and it's doing that. That was the last I heard. That was last week. They're waiting for those gas lines to get lifted so they can finish up. But they're pretty close.
Okay, thanks.
Good.
Rock? Oh, sorry, Chief. I want to go, Chief.
All right. Nothing new specifically to report. We've got a lot of projects still in progress we're looking at. Very, very busy couple of weeks with the officers. Then we had the officer presentations, really the highlight of the last couple of weeks.
Fantastic. Rock.
For Master Transportation Plan, we received 3 RFQs, which is awesome. We will be reviewing those. We have sent that to the advisory committee for the feedback. We're excited to look at those. In the coming weeks, we are going to push out a survey concerning master transportation and what the citizens want to see. And we are also looking at doing an open house on the 28th with the sole purpose of educating the citizenry. This is what the master transportation plan is. This is what it means. What feedback do you have? And always, I have a standing invitation for anyone that wants to talk about anything development, anything master transportation plan. Come to my office. If you have ideas, things you want to see, email me, call me, text me. We are all open. On February 6th, the Planning and Zoning Commission has requested a special meeting with City Council concerning a zoning title amendment about the development of city facilities and city uses. I have provided you guys a copy of the draft amendment. Please feel free to get it if you have any questions. And last but not least, things have been a little bit slower with building permits and also zoning applications. We're not seeing many new ones. So what we're doing with some of that time that we usually fill writing reports is we're looking at department deficiencies and how can we be more efficient and step things up. My team has looked at the planning and zoning minutes and also the city council minutes, and we've looked at how have we been doing this, how can we be more effective, meet state statute, have a transparent document, but cut down the amount of time that we spend. And we believe that we have found a new strategy that will help us cut more than 50% of the time that it takes to assemble those minutes. So know that from the Planning and Zoning Commission, we're kind of beta testing it. You may see some minutes that look different. If you have any comments or dislike them or think they're a great idea, let us know. We're just looking at small things that we can do so that when things do ramp up again, that we are being the most efficient department possible.
Just so everyone's crystal clear, the show band are at the Elks currently, and has nothing to do with the city. I just want to put that out there. This is them doing their own thing, and I don't know if it was date and times, and if you had any questions, is that?
Yes, so they were here today. They're going to be there tomorrow morning and also the afternoon. I believe it's informational. They have specific people there to speak about topics concerning their proposal. And if you see someone there from the city, know that it's probably us just gathering information so that we understand what's going on. I don't think anyone going there and participating necessarily says this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I'm for. But I think it's good to obtain the best information so that if anyone on the city level is placed in a decision-making role, that they have the best decision-making information possible. So, yep, I would just echo what the mayor said. It's sponsored by the city, but I think participation is great because knowledge is power.
Chief.
Mayor, council, not a whole lot going on. Exciting for the fire department, not like the Parks and Recs and Library got going on. But we're having good participation and enthusiasm in our training departmentally. Sometimes that's hard to capture when you get inclement weather, getting people to want to get up and move around, but the training division has done a good job keeping people captivated and learning. We do have 10 firefighters that are signed up that will be going, leaving on the 17th, returning on the 19th of February to the Southern Idaho Fire Academy. So 10 of them leaving town. That's a pretty big number, but we'll accommodate for that and have people on point here to take care of our town. But good schooling and education, they're looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll be in our final ends of our repair and maintenance on our trucks apparatus. That's always a big thing. I think we pushed through it a little quicker this year. Nothing drastic has risen or anything like that, so we're in good shape there, but it is an expensive venture to take care of all of that equipment. But that's a good thing. So other than that,
Okay, thanks.
Usual.
Thanks, Chief. Rich.
Mayor, council, few things. So our water samples that we took from our new well came back from both of our labs and both came back good. So all of the different things that we were testing for. So that was a great positive. We've been putting up cameras. So with the fiber going into all of the the backbone going to all the different well houses and everything. So we're getting all cameras put up on all the inside of the well houses. We're getting some cameras put on the outside in some different places, so just to kind of watch what's going on with different things. So that's that's a pretty cool little deal how that works. So our department heads can see what's happening there, and the mayor, and I think I have the chief and on some different things. And Miguel was looking at the parks to be able to look at different things that are happening. So it stays on in the cloud for 30 days, and so if something happens, we can pull up what we need for each of the days and look at the different. Works pretty cool. We do have a meeting. We're trying to set up a meeting. I got the mayor's schedule to give to Keller and Brockway in Twin Falls to get our meeting set up to figure out our steps forward with the well. So that should be next week. We're going to get some of that put together, and let's see what else. I had a couple of things. Let's see. We do have one thing I think that Brock brought up with the water, and if you happen to go to the show band's open house, they have a sheet that has some of the frequently asked questions, and one of them was about water. And it says that the Public Works Director says that they have plenty of water available for them. So, well, that's, yes, we do, but it's not like we're giving it to them. So, I mean, they have to go through all the steps just like everybody else. I mean, we have water that's available, so it's not like we're just, I already had somebody come and say, I hear you're giving them water. No, but that's not how that works. So, I mean, the water is available just like it would be for any other development what's going on. So that's where that's taken from. So, just want to get that out there.
Usually they blame me.
I know, I got it, so that's good. I'm glad I can defer some of that from you. But other than that, things are running really well. So we're excited to I did get the first round of plans back for just all the transmission lines for the well and everything going on. So we'll have a meeting on Friday to kind of give comments back on our first round of stuff. So we're still on track to be able to put that out to bid here in the beginning of the spring, so we can get those working. So.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Goby?
Rich, okay, so you said next week you're hoping to make a decision. That's on the sand filtration system?
Yes, how we're going to move
versus-
forward with sand in the well and different things. That's what that's for, yes.
Or we're going to move the well, or?
Probably not going to move the well, or just how we're going to, mitigate the sand that's in the well. That's the big questions that we're working on. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So next week, okay.
Anything, Paula?
Mayor and council, the mayor and I had a conversation with Harrison Co. They're the main auditors that will do the presentation in March. We just wanted to make sure that both firms were working well together and that our audit was moving along. So everything was going good there. There's more grants to be approved. Jamie does an outstanding job capturing that. And congratulations to our two departments that got the local awards. They were pretty substantial. So good job for them. But those departments, fire, everyone is out there always looking for grants and being pushed in that direction. So it's all coming in. It's all coming together.
Tiffany Daniel McConnell, what do you got?
We're good. The City Hall staff is awesome. They're doing a good job. Can I say that? I just did, so.
There you go. Hey, Betsy!
Uh-oh. She's not prepared.
She's not prepared.
Uh-oh. Here she comes.
Not prepared, but I can go off the top of my head. Hello. Biggest project we're working on right now would be State of the City. I'm working with all the departments, getting their biggest goals for the last year. And then this coming week, I'll work with Tiffany and the mayor on that script and just talking about all the good things we did last year and then all the exciting things to come this year. We're about to release the season 2 of the Mount Home Stories podcast. Chief Mark Moore is our first guest of the season 2. We're really excited about that. We also, I feel like sometimes you call me out, sometimes you don't.
You're actually going to get him to talk? I think I've heard like 12 words out of him for most of the time, so it's...
Yeah, no, he really opened up. He talks a lot. You learn a lot about Chief Moore. That'll be released by the end of the week. Like Brock said, the Master Transportation Plan, I'm helping him on the open house end of that. So February 28th is currently the time frame on that. That flyer will go out by the end of this week to everyone. And I will catch you guys at the end of the meeting when I think of all the other great things I'm working on. Because there's at least 3 other things. I will say though, if I can switch hats for a minute, as a Chamber Board of Director, I want to thank everyone that came to the installation banquet. I know it was a Farm Bureau table and it was a personal table, but I really appreciate all the department heads that came out. I know as the Chamber Board, we just appreciate seeing that city staff there. You guys all took time out of your day to come. And that's your personal time, and we just really appreciated that support there from the city. Like I said, I know it was a Farm Bureau table, paid for personally, but you guys taking the time out of your day to come out really meant a lot to the chamber. And yeah, I'll catch you on the end when I remember everything after I walk away from this here. And, we did do a video on the URA. We did some explanation on the URA, trying to explain some of that budgeting and where that money comes from and where it goes, because there's been a lot of confusion out there about that. So if you guys haven't seen the URA video on our Facebook, check it out. I know you guys all understand how URA funds work, but share it, like it, comment it, say how great we are. No. But I think that did really well. We got a lot of good traction there.
Yes, please, because a lot of people don't understand. that there's two different monies between URA and the city.
Yes, and that was a big confusion there, so it was good, I think, to get that out. The next information we're working on getting out is back to what Mr. Gordon Jones was just talking to you guys about that CSI taxi district. We will be putting out a fact sheet of what that community college district really means to the citizens. And just really just putting the facts out, just so they know when it comes on their ballot, whether it's May or November, we know we did our due diligence to share the information that's true. We're not trying to sway them either way, we're just gonna say, this is what's gonna look like in real life. So that'll be the next fact sheet we put out.
Man,
Councilman Garvey?
just a quick, you said you're working on the state of the city.
Yes, ma'am.
I had an idea of looking for like a timeline. I don't know who wants to put it together, who would spearhead it in the city, but I feel like we have so many projects going on right now, and it would just be nice, whether it be monthly, from either you, the communications, or whomever, like, here's where we're at. I know we always ask the same things, but put it in writing for us to see it every month. Here's where we're waiting on the pool. Here's where we're waiting on the well. Here's where we are on fiber. I just would like to see a timeline monthly, because sometimes I feel like from meeting to meeting, we're trying to figure out stuff. We don't get a lot of information, so.
Right, and you're like,
I would
well,
love
you
to have
remember
that.
that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Councilwoman Garvey, I think we're a step ahead of you.
Excellent. I like
You
it.
said somebody spearheaded. Daniel's not here.
Yeah. So we
He's
have
the
a
janitor.
Okay.
project board, production board in the mayor's office that
Okay.
as the department heads do exactly what you're saying, who's the contractor, what's the next due date, we're going to have that on a Excel worksheet in Google
Excellent,
Drive,
yes.
and you just can pop it up and see comments, everything.
Yeah. It just would be nice to know where we are
Yes.
with funding.
Exactly. And
Everything.
what staff you could ask that question to, yes.
Yep. Okay.
You're stepping ahead of you.
That's my
I
request.
think to build on top of that, I think quarterly, we could put together a fact sheet that goes out quarterly to like the public. And that way they get those updates quarterly, because monthly it might get a little
Sure.
much to the public.
I
For
understand
you
that.
guys,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that, so I think quarterly that'd be a good thing to implement.
I just think it's important. Keeps everybody happy about knowing what's going on in the city.
Yeah, sure.
Anything else for me?
Thanks, Bets.
It took a lot of time.
I'm just gonna start walking out on my own. I'll just start walking out.
At the beginning.
Yeah, I'll just force myself and interject. It's fine.
All right, Councilman,
I just want to thank the department heads. I know that every one of them, they don't have just their one specific task. They all have different hats, as I well know, to where, I just want to thank all the department heads for everything that they're doing, and actually everybody that works for the city, where it's not an easy job.
I agree. Alrighty, conflict of interest declaration. Has any council member received information pertaining to or otherwise had any contact with any person regarding any items on this city council agenda? If so, please set forth the nature of said contact. Hearing none, I'll run down to the consent agenda. Council, do you have any questions on the consent agenda? Would you like to pull anything from the consent agenda? Mayor, Councilman Green?
I just want to make a comment on L and M. After reviewing the information from both of the appointees that you're appointing, I do think that they're really good choices. They will basically do a really good job for the Mountain Home Library.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Councilman Green. Councilwoman Garvey?
Okay, on the grant application for the city pool.
Yes.
So that's great that we found more money. So the city cash match, are we going to take that 500,000 out of the extra money that we put aside? That 900?
You
Is
want to
that
answer?
where that 500 is coming from?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be the match.
Okay, so that'll be the grant match. So essentially, we still have $450,000
There's
ish
actually
left.
By the time we were able to get all the revenue from, because it comes in so late, it actually ended up to be a little over millions in there.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And then,
So that was a funny ha to Miguel.
okay, I was like, I really hope we're not going to be seeing this. Otherwise, we're going to get a veto stamp.
It goes right over it.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, Miguel, it was it was a funny haha with Miguel.
All right, okay, and then, can I keep going really quick?
You bet.
O and P, the wastewater and water rate increase. Can you refresh my recollection of how we come up with the $1.34 and $1.38, please?
Mayor, Council, so that's just, it's 5%. So
Yes.
that's just, so just from looking at what last year's was, just multiply it by 1.5, and that's where this number comes from.
Okay.
So that's kind of, looking at some of the different things that we had. I mean, like,
Does that stay within our historical
yes.
increases?
So it's, we did a lot, we did some bigger ones before that, so we could get to where we could just do an annual increase to keep up with, try to keep up with prices that are going, So like for example, a quick example, chlorine was a huge one. Chlorine was, it went up about 60% in water because we use it year round, and so it's about 38, it was about 38% wastewater because we just use it during when we land app. So, if you put that, you add them both together, put a full year, it'd be about the same. So chlorine's gone up about 60%, and that's one of our big expenses. So,
Yeah.
so this is just basically this is all operational. So,
O&M,
Yep.
yeah, okay. That was all I had.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, anything wanting to pull? If not, council, do I hear a motion? Councilman McCain?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Sorry, the consent agenda has been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Okay. Run down to new business. Items removed from the consent agenda. There were none, so we'll go down to action item number 2. And really quick, item 10 is a non-action item. Discussion with Darcy Braithwaite on the proposed agreements for the use of the city facilities for sports, recreational activities. Staff provided this information via email January 13th, 2023. Here moving forward, if we do move forward with this, we will need to set a public hearing and date, even though it's a
So
non-action.
we had a question on that. Should we move it? Can we move it to make it a motion? Can we change it from a non-action? So we can,
if you want to amend it.
yeah, so we can amend it
You can amend the agenda.
to do the public hearing. Okay, all right, okay. I had that note, Darcy, I'll talk about it. Okay, sorry.
So do you want to make a motion to amend it, to make it an action item?
Yes, I will make a motion to make this a action item, discussion with Darcy Braithwaite on the proposed agreement for the use of the city facility.
And I'll go ahead and second it.
It's been motioned and seconded to make this an action item. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Kane?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
All right. You want to lead this off? Darcy? Council, you got questions for her?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
She don't want to talk unless you got questions.
Come on down, really quick. I'm sure they don't have any question. They got a question.
So basically, this agreement came about just because the local organizations that use the city facilities, mostly it's our softball fields and the baseball fields, there is no formal agreement. And I think it's time that we start this process and just getting it going. And I think all parties need to involve, just need some sort of, I guess, hand in using city property. So, with that being said, do you have anything?
Councilman Kane?
Told you, Darcy.
I knew it. He said, I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
I think this is a fantastic idea that sounds like there's been a lot of organizations that's just been using the field, and some of them have wear and tear on it and just want Parks and Rec to work around their schedule rather than them letting Parks and Rec know what's going on and them trying to work with Parks and Rec on a few things to her. So I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, and I think a lot too, what we forget about is the cost of the porta potties, the trash totes that are out there, and just the park maintenance in general. We have not kept that in mind when we're allowing them to use our facility. And so I think with just that little recoup too, the fee is very minimal that's going out there. And yeah, open space right now, any open grass area is widely sought after right now. And I think it's just the beginning of more organizations coming in wanting, to promote their competitive leagues and stuff like that. So.
Mayor?
Councilwoman Garvey?
So you mentioned that, and thinking of that, you mentioned the fast pitch softball?
Mm-hmm. The Elmore County Fast
Working with all the other different entities as well to bring something similar like this to the table?
The ones that we mentioned in this email, when I emailed it to you, they're the ones that currently use the facilities right now.
Yeah.
And we have spoken to them. This conversation probably started actually last May with all of them. So they know where we're going as we move forward. But when we get new leagues coming in, we'll be prepared.
Okay, great.
For them.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this to go to a public hearing for 2/27/2023.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? My question is Darcy, where on there was the cost?
It is
Was it on the first page? I just,
page 2.
Yeah, 2.
Of the actual agreement. I don't think it's on our. I don't think it was on our. Yeah, it was in the packet.
It was in the packet.
Yeah, it was.
right, I'm looking in the packet.
Yeah, it's on here for sure. It's on page 2.
All right, 205. Okay, I got you.
It's all clear at the bottom, terms of lease.
Okay, cool. All right. Before we make what date do you want to set that for?
February 27th, 2023.
February 27th.
That came from our clerk directly, so
Okay.
it must be copacetic.
All right. So, any further discussion? Hearing now, Councilman Green?
I just want to say that I think it's a good thing that we're getting into this, because as we go through this, I mean, we're charging families and individuals that want to reserve the park and use the park, we're charging them fees. I think it's time that the sports that are using and creating the wear and tear as well are also doing that part.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
All right. Thanks, Doris.
Thank you.
All right, action item, deliberation decision on Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation and finding of facts to approve the conditional use permit to allow an event center on real property located at 275 East 4th North. Staff report provided via email December 27, 2022. Council, got any questions for Brock?
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey?
I believe we discussed this, but refresh my memory. Why do we have to do a conditional use permit? Because it's an event center, correct?
Yes, and I have the same reaction.
Okay.
I
Just wondering.
think that, and I know that our uses have been reviewed before. I think we could review them again. This is in the C2 district downtown. This is the old liquor store for those of you that don't know. And we have the applicant here. I want to thank her for being here, who wants to do a small event center in that space. And I'm very excited because I don't like empty storefronts downtown. It's in the C2 district, as I mentioned, downtown parking overlay. That's not necessarily we have to worry about. There is a lot of on-street parking options available. And it's supported by not only our zoning ordinance, but our comprehensive plan as well. One of my favorite types of applications to process, just because they're straightforward. But no, Councilwoman Garvey, you have a great point. And if I can poll the other council members, do you believe that this sort of request should have required a conditional use permit?
No.
So, and
yes.
yes, it should have.
With a little caveat, because I think the reason why I say that is because it may not be so ideal. This spot is ideal. It's right downtown. But I think if we start to just let people just do it, then we might lose a little bit of traction on what's going on.
And I think that is a good point as well. You know, I can bring up when I was a city planner in Twin, we had a event center that ended up being one of the favorite gathering
places for a lot of nuisance at 2 a.m, and we had all significant police presence there
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And it was one of those conditional use permits that we actually ended up revoking,
yeah.
because the use was that bad. I can tell you, I do not have that sentiment about what the applicant's going to do. But I think you're right, and I think that's probably what our legal was getting to as well, that this use can be easily associated with behaviors which are not desirable if they are not maintained. So,
I just wanted to make sure when I asked you the question, we're doing it because it's an event center, recreational facility.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
And my answer was strictly based on this.
Based on this one, nope.
Because you said this, and so that's where I was at.
And those are excellent points.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I will make a motion that we approve the decision on the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation and finding of facts to approve the conditional use permit to allow an event center on real property located at 275 East 4th North Street.
I'll second it.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
All righty.
Thank you. I think it's gonna be great. Thank you. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Sure hope so. Sounds good.
Hey, really quick before we go to recognizing a person in the audience, I totally forgot to talk about, so URA not only does the infrastructure, and you saw the informational video about URA, I want everyone to know that there's more sidewalks that are to be done downtown Mountain Home. You want to expand on that a little bit? It's like 300,000?
It's about, I think that was, it's about $300,000, Mayor Council, and they're gonna finish up going on some of the things down 3rd Street and some of the crossroads in between 3rd and 2nd. So finishing up those sidewalks that are in their district. So they've done a lot of the corners with the ADAs already, so now it's just matching up with them.
So it looks like where your event center's going, those will be done right across the street in front of, was it the laundromat? And all down 3rd Street. Am I missing some? Are those the ones that we talked about?
Yeah, they'll have
What's wrong with
some.
our sidewalk? What's wrong with the sidewalk at the laundromat? Just curious. It's the first I've heard of this.
No.
No, I was like,
Sorry, not laundromat. Yours is good.
yeah, like, what's wrong with our sidewalks?
The mode, sorry.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I just,
Dry cleaner, yes. Sorry.
gosh, am I missing
All right.
something that you guys are talking about?
No.
Get new sidewalks and everything.
Those are good.
You heard me, yeah. We already fixed that.
We had to fix that part.
And made all pretty, so.
Alrighty, we're gonna run down to recognize the person in the audience. Anybody like to get up for 3 minutes or less? Hearing none? Seeing none?
Twice.
I'll entertain a motion for the council to go into executive session.
I will make a motion that we go into executive session.
I'm just gonna say, I don't have the
Thank you. I was
precision.
like, pursuant to Idaho Code Section 74206, subsection 1, subsection F, to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation or controversies not yet being litigated, but imminently likely to be litigated.
Second.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman McCain?
Always last. Aye.
All right.
Look at